السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. My respected elders and brothers, just a reminder for me and you, the situation in Palestine is not the same, but rather much worse than before. You know the figures better than me. On the weekend, the figures by the Euro-Mediterranean Human Rights Organization was that 25,000 Palestinian brothers and sisters have been martyred until now. Out of them, 10,000 are children. On Saturday, the news came out that Kamal Adawan Hospital, one of the remaining hospitals in Gaza, when the siege was lifted after 7-8 days, they found out that injured Palestinians, they were still alive and they were buried alive in the ground. So, and the total population that was 2.2 million, at this point 1.8 million are without a safe shelter and are living in inhumane conditions. In the last few days, 1,200 people were interviewed by the Euro-Mediterranean Human Rights Organization. 71% of them replied that they are living in extreme hunger. The maximum amount of water that is used for cleaning oneself also or for drinking is maximum 1.5 liters per day. So this gives us an idea the dire situation they are in right now. So we need to make dua for them. Whatever support within the law of the land we can provide, we should do for them. And the biggest requirement from all of us, including myself, is that we decide to change ourselves. It is the time of introspection. The biggest effect that as an ummah, the Muslims or the believers can play the role in is changing ourselves. This is the biggest effect that Allah will can use to change the situation of the ummah. So all of us, this drains down to every individual. I need to look into myself, my businesses, my dealings, my relationships, my lifestyle, everything that is there. Is it according to Deen or is it away from Deen? And we make a firm conviction to Allah and we try to change it. May Allah give tawfiq to all of us. Ameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم أصلح أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم تجاوز عن أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم ارحم أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم استر عوراتهم وآمن روعاتهم. Ya Allah, have mercy on our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Ya Allah, protect our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Ya Allah, provide for our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Ya Allah, relieve our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Ya Allah, those who are killing them and those who are doing oppression on them, you alone be enough for them. Ya Allah, destine a life of ease, iman and afiyah for them. Ya Allah, wherever the Muslims are oppressed in the far corners of the world, relieve them and provide for them. Ya Allah, let us all die in a state of iman. Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. عن أنس رضي الله عنه قال: إنكم لتعملون أعمالا هي أدق في أعينكم من الشعر كنا نعدها على عهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من الموبقات يعني المهلكات. رواه البخاري. This is a saying of Anas radiallahu an to the people of his time after the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This saying has been narrated by Imam Bukhari in his Sahih. He said to the people of his time that there are certain actions that you do and you consider them finer than the hair. meaning those actions have no value in front of them. You consider them regular actions. But in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we used to consider those amals and actions from the destructive actions, from the sins. What is the commentary? What is the meaning of this? The author rahimahullah says the meaning of this is that in the Mubarak time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the fear of Allah was so dominant amongst the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, and the concern for Akhirah was to such an extent that even those actions that today people think, meaning the people after the Sahaba, they take them as minor things, minor sins, or not even sins, things that are against the etiquettes, against the adab. These are minor, you consider them minor, but in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we used to consider them from those sins that are destructive, or from those actions that are destructive. So what does this saying mean? That from generation to generation, the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts going down. This was the level of the fear of Allah in the time of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. So, and today, if I do my introspection, we do our introspection, where do we stand? Because the more the fear of Allah, the more we will try to stay away from minor sins also. One last thing, and I'll wrap up. To understand this hadith, we can easily understand it in the light of the saying of Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah. He's the teacher of Imam Bukhari. It is mentioned regarding him, he says, لَوْ تَرَكْتُ سُنَّةً مِنَ السُّنَنِ أَوْ أَدَبًا مِنْ آدَابِ الْإِسْلَامِ لَخَشِيتُ أَنْ يَسْلُبَنِيَ اللَّهُ جَمِيعَ مَا أَعْطَانِي. He says that if I leave one sunnah out of the sunnahs of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or if I leave one adab and etiquettes from the adab and etiquettes of Islam, I'm afraid that Allah will take away all the favors of this world away from me. This was the level of the fear of Abdullah bin Mubarak, who came after the time of Sahaba radiallahu anhum, that he says that one thing against the etiquette, Allah can snatch away everything from me. So this is how we understand this hadith. This is the role that the fear of Allah plays in my life and your life. May Allah grant us His fear. Ameen. बुखारी की रिवायत है, अनस रदी अल्लाह अन्हु का ये मकूला है जो उन्होंने बातचीत की अपने ज़माने के लोगों के साथ आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के इंतकाल के बाद। फरमाते हैं कि उन्होंने अपने लोगों से कहा, अपने ज़माने के लोगों से कहा, तुम लोग बहुत से आमाल ऐसे करते हो कि तुम्हारी निगाह में वो बाल से भी ज़्यादा बारीक हैं, यानी बहुत ही हल्के आमाल हैं, और उन्हीं आमाल को हम रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़माने में मुहलकात में शुमार करते थे, यानी तबाह कुन आमाल में से शुमार करते थे। तशरी मतलब ये है कि रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के पाक ज़माने में मुसलमानों पर जो है खुदा के खौफ का इतना गलबा था, और आखिरत के हिसाब वो अंजाम से इस कदर जो है वो लरसते थे कि बहुत से वो आमाल जिनको तुम बिल्कुल मामूली समझते हो और बेपरवाही से करते रहते हो और उनसे बचने की कोई फ़िक्र नहीं करते, वो उनको मुहलिक समझते थे और उनसे बचने का ऐसा ही एहतिमाम रखते थे जैसा कि हलाक कर देने वाली चीज़ों से बचने का एहतिमाम किया जाता है। यानी सहाबा थोड़ी सी बेअदबी, छोटे गुनाह से भी बचने का खूब एहतिमाम करते थे। इसको मज़ीद इस तरह समझा जा सकता है, अब्दुल्ला बिन मुबारक रहमतुल्लाह अलैह जो इमाम बुखारी के उस्ताद हैं, उनका एक मकूला किताबों में आता है। वो कहते हैं कि अगर मैं सुन्नतों में से एक सुन्नत छोड़ दूँ और दीन के आदाब में से एक अदब को छोड़ दूँ, तो मुझे डर है कि अल्लाह पाक ने जितनी दुनिया में मुझे नेमतें दी हैं सब मुझसे छीन लेंगे। किस बात पर छीन लेंगे? कि दीन का एक अदब मैंने छोड़ दिया जानबूझ के, एक सुन्नत को जानबूझ के तर्क कर दिया। तो सहाबा रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हुम और उनके बाद के ज़माने के लोगों में अल्लाह का खौफ इतना था, और अल्लाह का खौफ जितना मेरे आपके अंदर होगा उतना ही छोटी से छोटी बुराई से भी बचना आसान होगा। अल्लाह पाक मुझे और आपको अपना कामिल खौफ नसीब फरमाए, आमीन। सुब्हानल्लाहि व बिहम्दिहि, सुब्हानकल्लाहुम्मा व बिहम्दिक, नशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता नस्तगफिरुका व नतूबु इलैक।